Today, we are going to look at AstroSwap, SWAPS, and Velas. Why the value of those tokens and protocols are set to explode over the coming weeks, months, and years. Now, remember, we can only do probabilities and never certainty. So, if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jiggy. I'm the award winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. Been featured in the best selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008, where I used to only focus on currencies, but now exclusive on cryptocurrencies. So let's dive straight in. So Cardano Ecosystem. Did you get Cardano? I thought you were talking about Velas, AstroSwap, and swaps. I go, yeah, but there's a massive problem. The throughput rate with Cardano is not high, but the ecosystem is a beast. There's some serious players in the space. Cardano's been building what feels like forever. But what the AstroSwap team realized at this stage is the throughput rate of the Cardano blockchain does not meet the minimum volume requirements. Now, some people have made the brave call of just to launch their DEXs on Cardano anyway, but with a very poor user experience. And the AstroSwap team said, we're not doing that. We need a better solution. We need to look after our members, our supporters, our users. Literally, we need fast transactions, we need cheap transactions, but to trade your Cardano tokens. So what AstroSwap have, which is an advantage, is they are powered by a Wagyu swap, which have experience of being a very fast DEX, one of the fastest, cheapest on the Velas blockchain, because they have built on the Velas blockchain. So what was very, very cool to see is this, right? And this is what people haven't connected the dots, and I'm going to help you connect the dots today. So we got a Cardano layer 1 solution, but the throughput, the TPS, there's a problem at the moment. It hasn't got to that phase of development yet. It hasn't got that. It's not functioning at that level. But Velas is, and Velas is. So the guys at AstroSwap, working with Wagyu Swap, and they've also partnered with SWAPZ as well, is can we use Velas as a layer 2 solution? Can we get our Cardano tokens and make it very easy for people to cross-chain bridge over from Cardano onto Velas for fast, cheap, easy, simple swaps? And that's going to be the DEX of AstroSwap. And guess what? They figured it out. They figured it out. Initially, they were thinking about Binance Smart Chain, and that's what they were planning for. But then they thought, actually, Velas is better. It's faster. And we've got proof of concept with Wagyu Swap. So what AstroSwap have, and they announced this back in October in 2021, is a partnership with a company and a protocol called SWAPZ. Yes, the SWAPZ protocol. I'm very bullish on SWAPZ. So undervalued right now. It's unreal. Unreal. But because we spoke about them months ago, right? Months. But AstroSwap and SWAPZ will soon build an interstellar highway connecting the Cardano to all EVM chains. And Velas, guess what? Is an EVM chain. It's a fork of the Solana chain, and it's EVM compatible. So what's very cool, very clever, is they asked the question, all right, Cardano is a massive ecosystem with, we saw that image at the beginning, right? Let me just go back. Let's go right back. This is even not even the full ecosystem, right? This is, had a few different images. This was one of the simplest ones. But Cardano being the layer 1 solution, there's a lot of building, and a lot of people are bullish on Cardano and see it, being one of the big players right now, but also in the future. So the question is, can we make it easy for people to trade their Cardano tokens? Easy, simple, cheap swaps, right? At the moment, the DEX is built directly on the layer 1 solution of Cardano is not quite doing it. But if they could bridge it over to the Velas for a 1-to-1 ratio, then it's all possible. And that's where swaps come in. That's where this powerhouse partnership of swaps, Velas, and then AstroSwap is now going to launch its mainnet on the Velas blockchain. So then Velas, in essence, becomes the layer 2 solution for Cardano. So for all these Cardano guys that are literally not, just kind of sitting on their hands, now are going to have a way to swap their tokens with a great user experience. So SWAPZ is the world's first. This is massive. You have to kind of give them, give credit where it's due. The world's first Cardano to Velas cross-chain bridge. No one's ever done that before, right? And Velas is really up and coming. It had like only 40 protocols or projects listed on it, as in built on their platform around less than a year ago. Now there's a lot. They're the official partners of Ferrari. They got Valera DAO launching in, I think it's a week, right? So, which is the maker DAO of the Velas blockchain. It's a fork. And it's going to be 1-to-1. So when people are taking their Nomi wallet on Cardano and the Cardano assets and migrating it over to the Velas, it's held for a 1-to-1 ratio, which is very, very powerful. So it means the easy way for all the liquidity come over to Velas. AstroSwap is a Cardano decentralized exchange, right? That's the focus. However, it's for Cardano assets, but now tradable on the Velas blockchain. So it's easier. So if you want to think about what this really is, it's really like Velas becomes the Polygon to Ethereum. Polygon to Ethereum is a layer 2 solution that makes it fast and cheap to trade on the Ethereum blockchain with protocols like QuickSwap. Now Velas is that for Cardano. That's the plan, that's the vision. Bridge opens for AstroSwap launch. So the bridge, the swaps bridge is done. The testnet is done. I was on one of their live calls yesterday. There's only 50 people on the call in the Telegram group with swaps. We got to speak to the CEO, Chance, and he's like, nope, the testing's done. We've been testing for the last 2 weeks. It works perfectly. Now we're just waiting for mainnet. And it's either going to be on the day of the launch of AstroSwap or the day before. So this is very bullish for this ecosystem. Very, very bullish. So what does it mean for swaps? What does it mean for AstroSwap? And what does it mean for the Velas blockchain? Well, this is what I'm seeing. So swaps, cross-chain bridge that makes it all possible, right? So this is a really important protocol that makes this ecosystem possible to take. And they're the ones that figured it out. They've been working really, really hard behind the scenes. And now they've gone, right, we're the first bridge that can take Cardano assets 1-to-1 and put them over to Velas. And now Astro is building on the Velas blockchain as its mainnet. And when Cardano is ready, it then has the option to move back over to Cardano. So it's going to be a simple way for all Cardano liquidity to move over to the Velas blockchain, right? So there's a lot of Cardano token holders and the Cardano ecosystem where they might not be very happy with, the user experience when it comes to the swaps. Now they have another option, and normally if it's 10 times better, people move over. If it's 10 times better, people move over. Massive potential volume. So if swaps is the bridge and there's massive volume in Cardano on the Cardano blockchain and the best user experience is on the Velas blockchain, and the only way to get across right now is the swaps protocol. Well, guess what? Massive volume, cross-chain, which means the protocol is going to get a lot of volume, a lot of revenue. This is important. Now, I've been waiting for this. And I asked the question yesterday on the live call. I was like, when is this single staking account going to be launched on swaps? And they said they've just been waiting because they didn't want to do it too soon. There was other vesting schedules for early investors. They wanted to make sure all those tokens were released so it kind of mitigates and minimizes any price dumping and everything else. They said stake swaps to earn swaps. They're going to launch that. Now, they said, I'm saying it tongue in cheek. They said this week. Could be any day now this week. Like literally he said, I'm going to aim to get it done this week. Now, that's not a hard date, but that's what was said. And they're going to do it on Wagyu Swap. And Wagyu has a great user experience. And then swaps, like they did for Cardano, are then going to do a cross-chain bridge, again for Solana, and then for Bitcoin. They also mentioned Avalanche. And then they're going to move to the next phase where the swaps token is going to have even more utility when it comes to, if you hold swaps in your wallet, you're going to have cheaper transactions. Also, what I didn't realize this until yesterday because I asked the question. I said, what's the major utility of the swaps token in layman's terms? And so one of the major utilities is the transactions are cheapest when you're swapping swaps. So if you want to move your tokens from the Velas to the Binance Smart Chain or Binance Smart Chain back to Velas, actually, if you swap your tokens over to swaps and do the swap, the transaction fee is the lowest, much, much lower. And that's one of the biggest utilities. But then you can stake swaps to earn swaps. And there's going to be some other stuff coming as well. Someone mentioned, can we get swaps to be one of the assets used on Valera DAO where we can take out USDV, the native stable token for the Velas blockchain. And that's going to be on the cards as well. And they are launching this quarter the buyback and burn. They said they got around 500,000 in buyback and burn assets that they're ready to buy back and burn. They haven't launched the date, they haven't announced the date, but it said it should be this quarter. And if you know about tokenomics, when you buy back, so it has volume and you then burn those tokens, it reduces the circulating supply and that has a positive impact on price. So that's swaps. Massive, big time, weeks, months, and years, right? This is a bigger vision here we're talking. For the Velas blockchain, this is a powerful blockchain. It's fast, it's cheap, and it's almost like just an upgrade, massive upgrade to Binance Smart Chain. So the potential for becoming the main layer 2 solution for Cardano. Cardano has some throughput transaction volume issues right now, and Velas is a solution that works, and SWAPZ is the bridge that makes it all possible. So the Polygon Matic of Cardano. So Polygon, what Polygon is to Ethereum, Velas becomes that to Cardano. And that's what this is. That's how they're using this. And what they're anticipating, when I was on one of the AstroSwaps calls a few weeks ago, I think it was a week ago, they said, just imagine if 1% of Cardano's volume or liquidity comes over to the Velas and it's trading on AstroSwap. Imagine if 10%, and if the user experience is that much better, that tends to be the natural case. And then what does this mean for AstroSwap? Well, it's going to be the best user experience for the Cardano ecosystem. Remembering it's a Cardano DEX built on a layer, well, technically it's a layer 2 solution, whilst the other issues are getting solved on the Velas blockchain, on Cardano blockchain, but built on the Velas blockchain. So one of the things that really came across strong is that we just want to keep it simple and give the users the best experience. What's going to be the best for the users? What's best for the users? And that's why they made these intelligent decisions. It opens up the floodgates for the Cardano bulls. People just want to have simple swaps. They want to just have a simple, fast, cheap way to swap their Cardano tokens, and that currently doesn't exist. Now, AstroSwap on the 28th, so I'm thinking like 2 days, in 2 days, it's going to exist. So there's a floodgate of massive volume that could potentially come onto the AstroSwap ecosystem, hence the Velas ecosystem, and then also that includes the cross-chain bridge, which is SWAPZ. So Yuri, which is one of the team of AstroSwap, he said this on the call, and I'm quoting him. He said, "No one will be able to compete with what we have." Right. So what they've built, very intelligent. The ecosystem, the partnerships, and the way they've connected all the dots, very, very impressive. So to summarize, the Cardano ecosystem is huge, huge. We know it's huge. It's been building what feels like forever, right? Forever. Now there's a clean way of taking this layer 1 solution and migrating it over, bridging it over to a layer 2 solution, which becomes Velas. In itself is a layer 1, but becomes the layer 2 for Cardano. What makes it possible is a cross-chain bridge protocol called SWAPZ, which have a direct partnership with AstroSwap. So it takes Cardano tokens, native tokens, for a 1-to-1 ratio and bridges them over to the Velas blockchain. And now AstroSwap is launching on the Velas blockchain, making it possible for the first time to trade, swap Cardano's tokens, fast, cheap, brilliant user experience, which is looking to wipe the floor with everyone else. So there you have it. There you have it. Today's a short video. I'm like, that's why I am very bullish on AstroSwap. That's why I'm very bullish on SWAPZ. I'm also very bullish on the Velas blockchain. I think it's going to be a top 20 cryptocurrency over the coming years, maybe even this bull run, because it's kind of hovering in the top 100. It's kind of, breaking that $1 billion market cap and kind of ranging. But I think we're going to see a bit of a correction in Velas, and then the next protocol, the next bull, this kind of leg that we're anticipating with Bitcoin, I think the whole market's going to lift, and some of these protocols are going to lift with it big time. So let me know what you think. What do you think? Do you think AstroSwap's going to be the main DEX for Cardano users? Do you think SWAPZ is going to be one of the main, literally cross-chain bridges protocols? Well, it's the only one right now, right? It's the only one that's going to allow Cardano tokens to go onto the Velas blockchain, and anyone, we're just not going to have any other option. It's a blue ocean right now. There's no competition, which is brilliant. And then AstroSwap, if they do what they did with Wagyu Swap, which is massive APYs, they've announced the date, which is the 28th. That's coming up in 3 days now. It's going to be huge. However, we have to kind of take into consideration the whole market conditions. The market conditions are not the best right now, but it is what it is. Bitcoin's doing a correction. I think we're coming close towards the end of a correction, and the market should really take off over the coming weeks and months if it does. So it's hard to kind of peg, is it going to take off? But, these are the two use cases. These are the two outcomes I'm looking at. Outcome one, let's plan for the worst, hope for the best, right? Plan for the worst, hope for the best. So worst case scenario, let's just say the demand for the token at AstroSwap initially might not be high, mainly because people are kind of fearful of the whole market condition. What that means, though, is the APYs are going to stay higher for longer, because the way the APYs work and the APRs when you're staking is the less people staking, the higher the APYs stay for a little while, because the more people stake, it kind of dilutes, especially the single staking pools that you're going to have access to. So that means you're going to have an option to get more AstroSwap tokens in the short term, and if you have confidence in the medium and long-term vision of what they're building, then it's a no-brainer. But then on the flip side, if the best case scenario is that literally the market shows a bit more optimism over this week and people are just really seeing the vision of this DEX, this ecosystem, and the uniqueness of what they've built, where no one is going to be able to compete, especially over the coming months, because they've been developing this in a way, and their partnerships is very, very unique as well. Then all of a sudden you got a different use case. So you have to kind of do your plan, but remember, it's only probabilities and never certainties. So let's do a quote of the day. Quote of the day is, and yeah, this one's chapter 4. Chapter 4. He who is good for, no, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted another one. No, hold on. I wanted Leonardo da Vinci today. It was chapter 5. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Now, what I've been very impressed with the SWAPZ protocol, because I got into the IDO back in, I think it was June, July, and initially they were a zero slippage DEX. That was the vision. But they listened to the market and they said there's not that much of a demand for that. The bigger problem is cross-chain stables. Can we do cross-chain stables and make it easier for the big players to just go, look, there's an opportunity on that blockchain, and it's very tedious and hard for us to take our stable coins from this blockchain over to that one. So that was the first one, making it EVM compatible. That was the EVM chains. But now they're moving on to other chains like Cardano, and then Solana, and then Bitcoin, and then Avalanche, etc., etc. But now they're also partnering with other coins as well to make it easier, again, to take your, whether it's your Valhalla token from the Binance Smart Chain onto the Velas blockchain, and so on and so forth. But what they want to do on the next version is make it easier for, it's almost like a self-service. So they're going to have a lot more utility over the coming weeks, months, and years with the vision that they have. So token holders are going to be, looked after. That's the whole kind of aim of the game as well. AstroSwap, Cardano DEX, powerhouse, but it's cleverly built what is now going to be a layer 2 solution, which is the Velas blockchain for the Cardano blockchain, the first time. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, not only in the short term, but also the long term as well. But they've kept it simple, very simple, just simple swaps, simple, clean, easy, fast, cheap, everything else. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Feel free to share this, because the reason I did today's video, the way I did it today, was the questions, the comments, is people are not connecting the dots. And sometimes you have to stand back and see the bigger picture. It's like, why are they launching on Velas? What is the issue with the throughput rate? What's going to give them the competitive edge? And why are people likely to say, we don't like it over here? Like I use Binance PancakeSwap a lot, because Uniswap is slow and expensive, like really expensive. Sometimes it's $50 to $100, $200 per transaction. And if you're kind of swapping a few $1,000s or tens of thousands of dollars, that can be quite significant. So for the bigger players, it might not, like if they're doing millions in swaps, then it's not that much of a bigger deal. But for PancakeSwap, it's cheaper and faster. But then Wagyu Swap becomes cheaper and faster again. So this, if you can see the partnerships, that's the main thing. It's not just AstroSwap by itself. It's who are they partnered with? Is Wagyu. And Wagyu is built on Velas. And Wagyu is incubated by who? The Bluezilla VC fund. And who are they partnered with? They have a strategic partnership with Velas. And they've also got the Velas pad. So there's the Launchpad ecosystem. They also launched AstroSwap, right, from the ADA pad. So now there's this tight ecosystem. And then SWAPZ, which was also incubated by the Bluezilla ecosystem. And the SWAPZ teams are a powerhouse. And now they're solving meaningful problems, but they're not standalones. They're literally like this. And that actually kind of sets them apart and gives a massive competitive edge against the single players. So it's going to be very, very interesting over the coming weeks, months. But even this current bull run, what I'm anticipating is 3-6 months of bullishness, right? Because we've been, it's just been following textbook Elliott Wave and Fibonacci patterns with Bitcoin if you've been following my videos. So let's keep up to date. Let's see how it goes. Protect yourself. Probabilities, never certainties. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see you soon.